As some of you may know from my previous videos, I've worked with FTMO for a very long time. And I really didn't want to make a video like this because I thought it really was a great company. And unfortunately, very recently I found that they're doing some very shady things and they are manipulating the price. So that's what you came for. There's your answer right away. So a couple days ago, I called out a US 30 buy, and I saw the market was going to go up through my technical analysis, and we actually did hit TP1 on that trade. It was a 1-to-3 RR, so some of the students made quite a lot of money from that. Really good trade. I was actually ended up holding out for TP2. Unfortunately, that actually would legitimately not have hit. There's no problems there that didn't get hit. However, what you'll see on the screen right now is you'll see the current price of FTMO at that time. So on the screen right now, you should see that there was a little bit of a gap, and on my Ctrader FTMO account that some of you may know that I'm doing right now, it ended up actually hitting a stop loss instead of a stop profit. I did have a stop profit on this trade. It did not activate because of this gap. So it was an unjust gap. I'll show you other brokers now. I'll show you Awanda, forex.com, IC Markets, and these are the main most respectable brokers out there, and as you can see, there's a gap on only the FTMO one. So not only was there a large gap on the FTMO broker right on the day change, as you can see, it broke a critical level. It actually ended up going down lower than these other two relative lows right here, which, as you can see from the other charts, none of the other ones actually did. So it actually ended up going down by quite a bit, around 108 or so dollars down, while the other ones started right where it last picked up on the day before. So this was really strange for the broker to do this. It was not a normal thing. This is much more than can normally be attributed to differences in brokers. That's totally understandable. If it's a couple dollars, $20 difference would be no big deal. But this is over $100 of difference in price between broker A and broker B. And now one of those brokers is definitely messing up, and it's hard for me to believe that both Awanda, forex.com, the DJI itself, there's so many other indices, indice brokers are capturing data wrong. And it's very clear and obvious now that the FTMO broker is being manipulated, and it's probably for ideas like this to capture more stop losses. As you know, FTMO makes more money if people are both losing the challenge, or there could be some more other conspiracy theories of they could even pull out of trades on live accounts and then gap it down so that the trader incurs loss. I'm not saying they do that. I'm not trying to say that the second part that they actually do that. I'm not trying to infer that they actually do any of those kind of things, but I am trying to infer that the price data is being is displaying incorrectly. This is not the true value of the US 30. If you actually look at the true value of before and after the gap, you'll see on the screen now and how different they are in comparison to IC Markets, which I believe IC Markets is the biggest retail broker in the world. Very well respected. Also on Ctrader, so it's not the Ctrader platform. I actually used to use the FTMO Ctrader one, didn't have any problems with that one, but now they switched over to the FTMO Ctrader LMAX that I'm using. This one did have these unjust gaps. A little bit more. The reason why I say gaps plural is because we look a little more to the right, you can see this 3-hour gap on the FTMO account, on the FTMO broker, data feed, whereas on the other brokers you can see no such thing. So that has two different things side by side. And that made me lose $80 on this position. No big deal. It's a $100,000 account. I can definitely come back from an $80 loss. It really should have been a $40 gain. I had a $40 stop profit on there, and that should have been activated, but it did not. So it's really more like a $120 extra loss, but still no big deal. What I am a little upset about is, if you can see a little more to the right, just today, we did have a down spike that actually triggered my stop profit from my trade that I took a couple weeks ago, and I've been holding for a long time. At the time of recording this, it still should not have hit that price. I'll go ahead and show on the screen right now what that is, and I'm gonna go ahead and show you some emails that I've been talking with FTMO to try and resolve this, and I'll show you what those look like so far. This is the first email that I sent to them. I said, hello, I noticed US30 on my verification account number with LMAX Ctrader open down 108 pips. Pips dollars, it's really dollars. Breaking key low levels while real market conditions with respectable regulated brokers such as FXCM, Owanda, forex.com, IC Markets, and others actually respected those low levels, which I covered earlier, and started much higher than the $108 down. The lowest daily opening price of any of the active brokers was $20 down, which is still respected the key levels, and that's including the wicks. The wicks of the other respectable brokers came down $20 on the first candle, first 15-minute candle of the new day on the respectable brokers. And at the time of writing this, there's been no downside swing lower than that first opening 1 minute candle, or excuse me, 1 minute, not 15. So there's no confusion on starting time. And then I said on the next line, on my verification account, same number, this glitch caused my position to hit an unjust stop loss when I had a stop profit that none of the other above brokers would have triggered. I am not so worried about that $84, like I've told you, no big deal on the 2 entries that was lost on this trade, but rather to make sure the price quotes will go back to being accurate in the future. I didn't say in the future, I meant in the future. I would appreciate this if this problem was resolved on my account, as well since more than $80 in one candle, granted this is an opening candle, difference is much more than an acceptable amount of slippage. I really didn't like their response, but they did respond to this the very next night. It took just a couple hours to respond, like, I don't know, 8 hours or so. And that's what they said. They said, Dear Blake, thank you for contacting us. Every broker offers different trading conditions and prices may vary based on several factors, the current market liquidity and spreads, data feed sources, server location, which is not true, by the way. Server location doesn't really impact it, exchange supplier, etc. Please be reminded that the Forex market is a decentralized market. Hold on. First of all, we're not talking about Forex. We're talking about the US30, which is actually centralized. It is a collection of 30 US stocks that make up each weighted differently. They're not all weighted the same. The 30 different stocks that make up the US30, and that's how the US30 is made. It is centralized, so this is actually not even applicable to what I'm referring to. So I'm not sure if they just didn't read my email or what's going on there. Let me continue. Forex market is a decentralized market that does not have uniform pricing across all brokers. For that reason, the differences in price levels may vary. That's true. Prices do vary between different brokers, but not by more than $100. On a $100 gap, excuse me, more importantly than just a $100 difference. If everything was relative to each other, it'd be no big deal. But this is a different gap. Instances like stop loss not being filled in on exacta price, when you said stop loss not being triggered, circumstance with commonly occurs on retail brokers. This may be caused by price gaps. Yes, that's what I said in my email. Slippages, sudden spikes, or high volatility, and variation of spreads during certain news releases, increased volatility, or rollovers. If you have any concerns, feel free to contact us again. Well, of course I have concerns, so I will contact you again. Here's my next email. I'd like to a little clarification, just to be crystal clear. FTMO's official stance is really just to make sure to give them a second chance, basically, to correct this issue. FTMO's official stance on these gaps are that they are normal and can be reasonably expected in the future. Please double check the US30, FTMO, LMAX Ctrader 15-minute and 1-hour charts on the opening of September 17th. I'd also like to point out an unexpected second 3-hour close, which I've talked about in this video, on the same chart just 2 hours later. This happened after the first email that I sent them, because I emailed them right away once I saw that first gap. It happened before my first email, but before they replied to me. Is it reasonable to expect similar situations to happen in the future? I understand slippage, broker price quotes being slightly different, and totally understand stop losses not being filled where they are placed. None of those were what I was trying to point out. Looking forward to your clarification, Blake. They responded. They said, Dear Blake, thank you for contacting us. This is to acknowledge that we have received your message. I will forward your concern to the relevant departments for further investigation, and we will contact you soon regarding your email. And then they sent me another one, the same time. It looks like it took them only, 7 more minutes, and they sent me another email. They said, Hello Blake, thank you for your message. Please provide us with additional screenshots of the problem you have mentioned to help us with the investigation, if you have any other concerns, please feel free to email us again, which you should know that I'm going to email you again. You asked me to email you again. I'm not sure what the whole concern thing is. Anyways, I did email them. I sent them 9 different screenshots of different brokers as well as their own, highlighting the price gap. There's one last point that I want to make with what FTMO is doing. I did have my long-term position as well. I want to go into that just a little more detail. So that position as well, as you can see, it did come lower than the previous low, which that's true in the real market as well. The low did come a little bit below the other low. However, you can see this key level double bottom over here to the left, and on the left side you can see that that double bottom there, it did not break that chart. It looks like the most recent low came about 50% in between the double bottom and the more recent low as well, came about 50% in between those two, but it did not break it. Therefore, my stop profit should not have been triggered. The second one, the long-term one, should not have been triggered. So this again, it's still incorrect to this very second. They did not fix it yet. I really hope that they do fix it. I really didn't want to do this, but I feel my hand is forced. So I will be looking for other prop firms other than FTMO in the future. They really lost my respect on this one. I'm really upset. I did this FTMO Ctrader just mostly as a trial for you guys. I am trading mostly options now. If you are interested in either prop firm trading, options, or just forex at all, definitely check out vvsacaddemy.com. It's gonna be a link in the description. I'm gonna be adding a bunch more courses, a bunch more videos, excuse me, to that really soon. I really hope to see you guys join that. If you don't want to spend any money, there's 2 different free options. One is to join the Telegram group, the absolutely free signals Telegram group. I don't give out a lot of signals in there, but I do give out some, as well as the other educators with VVS Academy. And there's also a free chat in there. If you want to talk to me, that is the best place to get my attention. Do not private message me. I just get too many messages. So if you want to talk to me, go ahead and message in there. Just at me. Feel free to do that in the chat. FTMO does actually pay out if you are able to pass their challenges. However, that will be harder now that we know that the prices won't be accurate. But if you do pass, they are still a legitimate company in that they do pay you out if you do pass and make the successful trades with the funded account. So I hope that puts that to rest. It is still a funded account. My video on YouTube is actually accurate. That shows me getting the payout from them. I think it was around $18,000 I got from them, which is really great. I love to see a prop firm actually being truthful in that aspect. So again, you can make money with them. It's not necessarily a scam. It's just a rigged casino is a better phrase to put this opportunity in, rather than an actual scam itself. So again, I really hope you enjoyed this video. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.